Hello, welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen James, the channel that brings you all your latest Rangers news, guys. Look, the Champions League draw that was made this morning paired Rangers with tough Greek side Panathinaikos, and one thing that's kind of become evident from the comments that I was getting on the live stream and also from talking to Rangers fans is that the need now is ever more to really improve that starting lineup, to bring in some players, to develop the squad, to put more players in place that can actually help us to compete in the Champions League and obviously qualify for the league phase. It is going to be exceptionally tough to get there. You know, I've got every confidence we'll get past Panathinaikos. That's not an issue. But, you know, even beyond that, you've got obviously tough qualifying rounds, and I was just looking at the list that have already qualified for the Champions League phase. It looks ever more like a European Super League to me, rather than a cup competition. We're just reading down the list of names already in that Champions League phase, and we will get to Shay Charles in a minute. Spurs, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea and Newcastle. 6 teams from England. 4 teams from Italy, Napoli, Inter Milan, Atalanta and Juve. AC Milan obviously missing out this season. 5 teams from Spain, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Athletic Club Bilbao, Villarreal. 4 teams from Germany, Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen, Eintracht Frankfurt and Borussia Dortmund. 3 from Spain, from France, Paris Saint-Germain, Marseille and Monaco. 2 from Holland, PSV Eindhoven and Ajax. Sporting Lisbon, Union Saint-Gilloise from Belgium, Galatasaray from Turkey, Slavia Prague from Czechia and Olympiakos from Greece. Obviously Slavia Prague from Czechia benefiting from the fact that the Champions League place, the automatic qualification Champions League place, was lost by Scotland this year due to the fact that only one team actually made an effort to try and boost the coefficient this season yet again. That been us, of course. But let's talk players. So look, we've been linked to many a name. There's been many a player linked. Max Aarons, obviously, Kavama Poku, Dor Turgeman, Mattia Freegan. The list is long, and none of them yet have signed. And I understand its frustration, and I understand that all this media speculation is very frustrating. And as I said on the video the other day, you know, people say, well, why are you talking about it? Why bother reporting it? You know, why not just wait till someone is signed? Well, that's boring. You know, look, what are you going to do? Watch Love Island? Watch Coronation Street? Watch Emmerdale? Or talk about Rangers? And it's interesting. Look, as a fan, even as a kid growing up, in the days before the internet, because I'm old, you'd go and get the papers, wouldn't you? And you'd scroll through those back pages, desperately searching from some link, you know, to a club, link to a player. You'd go through the gossip columns to see, you know, who your club's linked to. That was what you did. That was life, wasn't it? You know, that was back then. That's what you did, and you know, that was the excitement of it all. But now it's done on YouTube, and it's done on TikTok, and it's done on Instagram, and it's done on Twitch and all those other places, isn't it? That's where it's done these days. Right. Latest link. This is one that I would kind of put in the unlikely but interesting category. A player that is also allegedly interesting Leeds United. I did read a Leeds United forum last night with some pretty interesting comments, some anger that apparently they wanted Max Aarons, but Rangers are going to get him. They want Shea Charles, but Rangers are going to get him, and it's they're blaming Parag Marathe for stopping it from happening, apparently. Interesting. Could be an interesting one there. I also want to address another rumour as well. This is a rumour that I want to address. I want to address the fact that, you know, that Rangers will be a feeder club for Leeds. How can a bigger club be a feeder club for a smaller club? Please go figure that one for me, please. Thank you. Right, let's talk about this Shay Charles dude. Okay, let's talk about Shay Charles. So this is Shay Charles. Shay Emmanuel Charles. He's 21 years old, from Manchester. He's over 6 foot. He has citizenship for Northern Ireland and England. He is a defensive midfield player, right-footed, currently with Southampton. So would have worked with Russell Martin previously. Under contract till 2027. Main position is defensive midfield, but can also play centre back and right back. Yeah, you know, at the end of the day. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, that's interesting. Is it's a hybrid player again. I think there's a lot of hybrid players these days have been linked with moves, you know, with moves to clubs these days, and they're becoming very, very popular. These players that can play in more than one position, and that's certainly something that Shay Charles can do. Now, in terms of Shay Charles, I would place him very much in the kind of if Raskin leaves kind of signing. That's where I'd put him. I'd also put him possibly in a loan with an option to buy kind of signing. That's again where I'd put him. But again, I think it's very much dependent on what happens with Nicolas Raskin. I don't think we'd spend or bring him in with an option to buy, given the fact that he's going to be exceptionally expensive. I think it's around €10 million, which is about £8-9 million, if Raskin is still here. I don't think this is a Raskin is still here signing. I think this could be a use money from Raskin to buy him, or do a loan with an option to buy and buy him next summer. I think that's probably where we're looking with this Shea Charles deal. A bit more facts and figures on him. Let's have a little look at some more stuff on him. We want this one next. Here we go. So he played in the Championship last season for Sheffield Wednesday. He was on loan there. He joined on loan, had a possible 43 games that he could have played. It's the Championship season, remember, in England is 46 games. However, he played 43. 1 goal, 5 assists for Shay Charles in his 43 games. Again, he is a defensive midfielder. He's more into that kind of break it up, restart attacks, recovery, get the ball back, give it to the 8, give it to the 10, let them go create. That's the sort of player he is. You know, he's more defensively minded. He's more a classic number 6. He's more a Rodri number 6, a Zubamendi number 6, rather than say a Gravenberch number 6. Or a Mainu number 6. That's more where he kind of plays. He played 98% of Sheffield Wednesday's starting 11s, played 94% of their minutes, and played 11%, had an 11% goal participation rate for his loan club. Worked under Danny Rule, of course, there. And was really highly thought of by Sheffield Wednesday fans. And I think there's a few Sheffield Wednesday fans that would have liked to have kept him at the club. But I don't think that was realistic, you know, with the money that would be required to buy him. I don't think that's a realistic signing for a Championship club, certainly a Championship club like Sheffield Wednesday. A bit of facts on his career. He came through the Manchester City youth system. That's where he started off, in the Manchester City youth system. So he played for the under-18s in Manchester, 32 games, 2 assists. He played in the under-21s, 54 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist. He played in the youth league for Manchester City, the youth Premier League, 12 appearances and a goal. 1 appearance for Manchester City's full team. He's made 38 appearances for Southampton, and then obviously spent last season on loan at Sheffield Wednesday. The other appearance coming, I think it was in the Carabao Cup. So in total, 44 appearances, 1 goal, 5 assists. In total, there we're looking, he's scored 3 goals in his career and had 8 goal contributions in, you know, a good series number of games. So all his experience is in England, in Premier League and in Championship. So he's got a decent experience level as a player. Certainly someone who could fulfill a role within the team. And like I said, I think this is more a if Raskin leaves kind of signing, rather than a we'll bring him in anyway kind of signing. I think that's where we're looking. You know, that's certainly the noise that I'm hearing, the gossip that I'm hearing around this player. He is a very good footballer. He is a young footballer. And I think, you know, even if it was a case that Rangers were to splash some serious money on him, if the 25 million, and there's a lot of ifs and buts here, if the 25 million came in from Raskin, you're still looking at a player that even if you bought him for 7, 8, 9 million pounds, you probably could be getting 20, 25, 30 million for him in a few years' time. This is another trading model player. This is another player that comes in and makes a real difference, you know, and can really develop here at the club. He knows Russell Martin. He's worked for Russell Martin previously. He's a Russell Martin style player. You know, he's a ball playing footballer. I know that's a really stupid thing to say because all footballers play with the ball, but you know what I mean. He likes to play with the ball on the ground, but you know, he still has that grit and determination in him to get stuck in, to be determined. He's a full Northern Ireland international. He's made 27 appearances for Northern Ireland. So, you know, at the end of the day, that's where we're up to, guys. That's where we're up to. 27 appearances. I mean, he's a decent footballer. He's, you know, he came through the Manchester City Academy, so he's come through, you know, a really good academy there and a great academy system. He joined there at the age of 7. You know, I like this kid. I think, you know, this is a decent replacement for someone like Nicolas Raskin. And look, I think, you know, no matter what we kind of think, and I know we'd all rather Raskin stayed for at least another season. You know, there's talk of we can get Raskin to sign a new deal. You know, we can get Raskin to stay for another year. He plays in the World Cup. His value goes up even more. You know, but realistically, if Villa come in, and it looks like Villa come in with a 25 mil bid, you know, Is it too much? Is it the fact we just genuinely can't turn it down because it's £25 million and that 25 million could buy you a couple of players or a couple of three players who could really come in and make a difference to this squad? And this squad does need a huge overhaul. We've seen that, haven't we, from the state it's in at the moment. So, you know, Shay Charles, I think, would be a very, very good footballer. I mean, just reading a bit more on his style of play, he's able to play defensive midfield, centre-back, centre midfielder or full-back. Charles is described as an athletic, technical player, already showing a great mentality from an early age. So he sounds like the perfect kind of player to bring in to replace Raskin if Raskin was to move on. Guys, I'd love to get your thoughts on this one. Shea Charles, worth it? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the content, please like, comment, share and subscribe to the channel. And remember always, we are the people.